Everything is going good. Yes. Yes. Hold on. This thing has been giving me trouble lately. So let me fix this a little bit. So I'm sorry, guys. Well, I'm not sorry, but I apologize. There we go.
Dimes are very spiritual. Dimes are highly spiritual. And that's fascinating that you found that on your father, or that was in the evidence bag. That's fascinating. So you should always have a dime with you and carry a dime with you, my love. There is a significance behind that. So you should always have a dime with you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. My Gemini's in the house. Yeah. My Gemini's in the house. Yes. Welcome back, Soraya. Bestie, how was your day?
It was good. It's been full of surprises. I'm not even going to hold you. It was been full of surprises. I had to rush and cook my dinner in between class and the show. And I made a vegan style beef and broccoli and stir-fried rice.
Houseway.
Listen.
Houseway.
So for those of you who do not know, I am not a professional chef. But when Spirit tell me to add this and add that, baby, I'm going to do it each and every time. That beef and broccoli is amazing. Like, I almost...
Wait, so you substituted the beef for what? Soul food or something?
The Impossible beef. I had that.
Okay.
My God. Y'all.
Chef's kiss?
It was chef's kiss. I was like, I can't believe I just cooked this within like 45 minutes and had time to eat it within 45 minutes.
Damn, I wish I can sample it.
I'm definitely posting a picture after the show.
Please do.
I said,
I want to see that.
It was amazing. And so for those who don't know, especially for our first time viewers, so I'm back in school, and my focus is on health policies, and so I've been doing a lot of readings and a lot of research, and I'm starting to see how the plant life is different and really good for your body and everything. So I've been experimenting with that a lot lately.
Love y'all. Love y'all. I love y'all. Yes. Listen. I love y'all. Everybody is on. I love y'all. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Now, B, can you just please sit up so we can see the gear one more time?
Yes.
Because I'm rocking with it.
I'm gonna have to stand up.
This is the gear. This is the card. This is the official Cards and Conversations gear, everyone.
Yes.
And game.
I'm telling y'all, listen, this pops. It is soft. It is heavy. This is a double X. I want to say, I have to double check, but I'm telling you, look, it's your hoodie. Feel warm and protected. Yes, look.
I love it too. I love it. It's hoodie season.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes. It came today and I was so excited. I said, I'm definitely wearing it tonight because it is quite chilly outside right now, but yeah. It couldn't have arrived on a better day. Yes. So please go to our to the links. I'll repost the link again on my channel so that everyone can see it. We also have t-shirts. Yep.
And I'll post the link in my story after I post the video. I'll also tag these channels so that you guys can have access to it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and deep dive into tonight's podcast. If it's your first time here, welcome. If not, welcome back. I'm Ashley Anye, an intuitive alchemist and energy reader, and I'm just here to help y'all heal. I'm just here to help you heal. And we're healing with humor because laughter is always the best medicine. Talk to these people, B.
I am B. I am a goon. I am a tool for however spirit wishes to use at with a multitude of gifts. I just keep it. I have to say it like that because I never know how spirit is going to use me at any given moment in time. But as Ashley stated, we are here to help you heal, holding those hands, popping those fingers, making you laugh, making you dance, making you cry in the good way, right? Give you some self-reflection so that you can be your best self, right? And at the end of the day, we really do love you all. Like we really do. Outside of the show, we're talk about, oh my gosh, look how many people have watched the show. Like we get feedback from you guys. We love that. We get the private messages. I promise you that means so much to us. Like it really do. We are very humbled. We are very humbled. We are very humbled.
Humble is an understatement. Like we are over the moon. Okay, we are so excited. You guys have been rocking with like getting it out the mud with us, and y'all have been 10 toes down because at first we weren't sure because at this time people are getting ready for bed. They're just now ending their day. They're laying down. They're wrapping up the night, and we don't know if people were going to take to our podcast until we started posting consistently. And every time we have posted, Bestie can attest to this, hundreds of people are watching it.
Yes.
A lot of people aren't on when we're live, but as soon as we post, hundreds of people are watching it. People are sending DMs. Oh my God, like, thank you. I couldn't believe that reading that B gave spoke to my soul. Like during the show, like the guys, be on point with every reading. So I suggest right now, before we get to that segment, before we get to that time to ask B, get your questions ready now because B never misses. He always eats and leaves no crumbs. And he gives us the reading that we didn't even know our soul needed. So I highly suggest you guys go ahead and get your questions ready now because when it's time to ask B, if we even have enough time, sometimes we don't even have time to get more than one person in on the Ask B segment. So go ahead and get your questions ready. And if you're lucky, you'll be able to ask B a question, but B never misses. I mean, just go back and watch all of the previous episodes and every single person has said that B had listened to their soul. Literally, I am not pushing a word. Like, B has to their soul. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into tonight's topic. I'm a little under the weather. I think it's just the seasons changing. It really snuck up on me. Like, one day I would be in shorts and the next I was in a hoodie. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Because this is the time of year where the weather is so ambiguous. You don't really know what to wear outside. So it's really messing with my head. So please forgive me if I'm like sniffling and blowing my nose and stepping away to sneeze because I don't know what the hell to wear tomorrow. I'm just gonna go outside with a turtleneck and some shorts because I really don't know what to wear this time of year. It's that weird time of year.
Just make sure you got on your stiletto or your good boot. Come on, let's fashion model it out.
Honestly, like it's so confusing, and people I think are confused by the weather, so they're underdressing or overdressing, which causes them to either pass out from a heat stroke or be cold. So it's very confusing, but it's all right, It's my favorite time of year. It's close to my solar return, so I always love the fall.
Yes.
I love getting cozy. I love when it's cold outside.
Cozy.
And I love this time of year because it's close to the holidays, my favorite season and whatnot. So let's go ahead and deep dive into tonight's topic.
Yes.
We are discussing intuition over anxiety. How do you know? like my daughter's teacher used to say, how do you know the difference? Okay. Sometimes it can be quite confusing. You know, intuition is calm, it's quiet, it's comforting. Anxiety is loud, it's unsure, it screams at you. So, how do you know how to differentiate between the two? How do you know when it's your intuition talking versus your anxiety talking? We're going to get into that tonight.
Yes.
So that you guys can know exactly what to listen to, how to move, how to follow your inner knowing, because it's your inner compass that's going to lead you to make the right decisions, to choose the right friendships, relationships, jobs. It's going to be your intuition, your moral compass that you're going to have to start listening to, because that anxiety is always going to creep up on you.
Yes.
And try to supersede that intuition. You have to know when to fall back and listen so that you can know what's speaking to you, either anxiety or your intuition. You have to know the difference. And half of that comes from knowing thyself, honoring thyself, and loving thyself. All right, so let's go ahead and deep dive into tonight's topic. So like I said, intuition is quiet, it's calm, it's steady. It's usually says what it has to say, is a straight shooter. You never have to really guess your intuition, right? But anxiety is loud. It repeats itself. It's like that never-ending cycle of something constantly replaying in the back of your mind. Even if it's your subconscious mind that you're not conscious of, it's constantly on repeat, trying to almost convince you that it's your intuition. So if you ever come to a point where something is just replaying, urging you, almost forcing you to believe it, 9 times out of 10, that is your anxiety. That is not your intuition. It's kind of like good or evil, you know, like you always know something is good because it flows, or you feel at ease when it's around, or you feel at ease when you're making the decision, right? Like if you're choosing a job that's good for you, you know, the people are, you feel comfortable with the environment, the people seem genuine, versus choosing a job that may pay a lot, but it's arduous hours, you know, you're around people that, you know, you're not really going to vibe with, and the boss may be a stick in the mud. So you have to look at all these things and factor in all of these things when you're trying to make a decision, because you never know. I mean, something can look good on the outside, and then once you get in it, you like, okay, this ain't what I thought it was. And that was because your anxiety may have superseded your intuition.
I have to say something real quick. So when you said that, I heard loud and clear. It's very similar to when people buy these outfits and they say what I ordered versus what I actually got.
Reality versus expectation.
Exactly.
Expectation versus reality.
Exactly. And it's just like, you know, I thought I was going to handle this situation one way, but when it came out, you know, it was very different from what I was trying to do. And that's exactly how anxiety plays. And in fact, I've been watching, oh gosh, what's the show? Project Runway. And so there's one artist that's up there. I love her designs, but to the judge's point, when her anxiety gets to her, she say things and she thinks she's saying it in a humble way, but it's coming out snappy. And so that's what anxiety does. It gives you that rush that Ashley talks about. And that rush, to you, you're thinking, oh, well, I got to say it now and it's going to be peaceful. But to everybody else, it's coming out like, whatever. You know, you can just do it, whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, you can think whatever you want to think, you know, and some people, we do call that being on the defensive side. You're very defensive. And most people, when they're in that energy, they don't realize how they're coming across. They don't realize that anxiety, that anxiousness is coming off disrespectful. It's coming off rude. It's coming off brash. It's nothing loving about it. Yes.
I love all the hearts. Whoever is like doing all the hearts, love y'all.
Right.
Love it. Whoever's giving all these hearts, I love it. No, but to build off of what you said, that's very true, because the two are fundamentally different. fundamentally different. There is a big bridge between anxiety and intuition. And that's why I think a lot of people always have them overlap and they don't know how to channel which one is overpowering the other. So that's why we're here. Oh my God, thank you so much. Oh my God, thank you so much. We love you.
Yes.
We love you. We appreciate it. Thank you. We appreciate, love, and value you because it's giving me so much energy, so much ammunition. Okay. I feel so fueled up. So thank you. Yes. I appreciate it. So we're gonna help you guys break that down. We're gonna deep dive into that. Intuition comes from alignment, okay? It's your inner compass guiding you back to your higher self. All right, there's yourself, there's your 3D self, and there's your 5D self, okay? Your 5D self is in the ethereal realms, okay? Where your ancestors are, where the ascended masters are. And then there's your 3D self, the self that's on planet Earth, the spiritual being having a human experience, right? So it's very important for you to connect to your 5D self as often as possible because your 5D self holds all of the ancient knowledge, holds all of the codes that you need to shake and move on this realm, to shake and move on Atlantis, on Mother Gaia. So it's very essential that you guys are meditating, eating good foods, being around people that are of your highest, greatest good, because all these things are going to factor into how your life plays out. Okay, you are who you hang around with, and you are what you eat. So yes, please make sure you are connecting to your 5D self because your 5D self holds the light codes that's going to help you on your soul's mission, right? All right, so yes, your intuition is going to be your intermoral compass guiding you back to your higher self, all right? But anxiety is usually coming from misalignment, old wounds, unhealed trauma, fear of the unknown. One protects you, the other empowers you. One protects you, the other empowers you. Now, when you think of anxiety, I always connect to comfort because you're not growing if you're comfortable, right, B? If you are in the same place you were last year, you're not growing. You're not evolving. And you'll always hear me say this until I'm blue in the face. Everything on Mother Earth has to evolve. Every living, breathing thing has to evolve. So if you're not evolving, you're staying stuck. And chances are you're staying stuck because you're comfortable. And nothing changes if nothing changes. So one protects you and the other paralyzes you. If you're not moving, you're not growing. If you're not evolving, you're not learning the lesson. So you're essentially repeating them. And this is where the anxiety comes from because it's a perpetual thing on repeat. And this is why you're always feeling like, on edge because anxiety is going to continue to repeat until the lesson is learned versus your intuition is going to say it once. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. It's going to keep moving. It's not going to force you. It's not going to impose itself on you. It's going to let you know that it's there, ready and willing when you are. That's how you know the difference. That's how you know the difference, all right? So think about it when you're on a date, all right? Your intuition may gently nudge you and tell you that, this person's not right for you, right? Just, picture you guys are on a date. Your intuition is letting you know this person is not right for you. Maybe the way that they're treating the waiter or the way that they're speaking, sit and listen to a person speak and they will tell you exactly who they are. That's your intuition telling you who the person is. Your anxiety, on the other hand, will have you questioning yourself. Well, maybe I'm not dressed good enough. Maybe I'm not good enough for this person. Maybe I shouldn't order the most expensive thing on the menu. Maybe we're not at the right restaurant. Maybe I'm too old for this person. Okay, that's anxiety. Okay, when you start questioning yourself, when you start questioning everything under the sun, when you haven't even gotten to that point yet, all right? You're still on first base and you're already moving all around the field already. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you know when it's anxiety, when it's a perpetual thing. It's question after question after question after question. It just doesn't feel at ease, right? Hopefully you guys can feel the difference. One is rooted in wisdom. The other is rooted in worry.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom, worry. The wisdom is what was telling you maybe this person's not right based off of X, Y, Z. The worry was you questioning yourself, questioning your worth. That's the difference, right? So I want you guys to ask yourself, when was the last time you confused your anxiety for intuition? How did it play out? Bessie, I'll ask you first, of course. When was the last time you confused your anxiety over your intuition? And on the flip side, when did you listen to your intuition?
I'm going to say I've never confused the two, but I do know the difference in my actions between the two. So, and Bestie, you know the story, so I'm gonna put it in short. I'm gonna try to be short. So my last relationship, my intuition told me that something was happening, something was off. My intuition was saying other people are involved. They're third parties, right? That's how we say it in the tarot realm. My anxiety said, hold on, what's the famous quote? Molly, you in danger, girl. My anxiety said, girl, you need to find out now, and I don't consider myself a girl. Let me, for those who don't know, but it was saying you need to figure out what the hell is going on, right? You need to figure this thing out and put some things to rest. However, the way to do that was incorrect. It was wrong, right? So my intuition was right. I was dead right. I was right in that department, but my anxiety had me acting out of character. And I will also say that was also at the brink of my awakening. So it's like it's a lot of things that's happening coming into play with that. Because after that was a traumatic experience for me because of the fact that I thought that I had found my forever person, and I'm realizing that my forever person isn't perfect. I'm also realizing that my forever person may not necessarily be my forever person. That was a lot to deal with. And this was all right before COVID, people, just to paint a picture. And then COVID happened. And then I had friends and family members to die. And I had like over 10 people and 10, 11 people in my family and friendship circle who I consider family, right? To pass away. And only one of them passed away from COVID. So it took a toll on me. And through all of that, that's you see what came out of it. But in hindsight, I've never crossed the two, mixed the two together, but they did have me. I could see how my actions were different with each.
Okay, understood. Well, I'll say I have experienced not knowing the difference, and I'll use a relationship that I was in. I'll use my marriage that I was in. I don't like to get too personal, but I will use that example because I wasn't awakened when I first got married, right? I was still asleep, as a spiritualist will say. I was still very much in the matrix. Had like a 9 to 5, not a regular 9 to 5. I worked overnight, but I had a corporate job. And so I knew once I got married, I knew once I got married that I was marrying a great guy. I knew that. But my intuition was telling me that I shouldn't have got married. I was young, and I knew in the depths of my soul that I shouldn't have gotten married.
Mm-hmm.
But by societal norms, you know, we're going to get married. We have a child, a very young child, and it's the right thing to do. So that was like the driving force behind it, right? But I didn't realize at the time that the reason why I was so doubtful was because that was my higher self letting me know that I was marrying for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that it was just my anxiety, or maybe I'm just, nervous, because the stereotypical thing with people being a Sagittarius or thinking that a Sagittarius is hard to tie down. That came into play. Like, maybe I'm just being a Sagittarius. Maybe I'm thinking that I'm clank, locked down for life. Maybe I'm thinking that. Maybe that's just what it is. And it wasn't. It wasn't my anxiety. It was my intuition. It was my intuition letting me know that this was not, this did not need to happen. And we're told from a young age to get married, to get this job, then have children. Don't go out of order, and don't wait too long, because then it'll be too late. And so I was following the matrix. I was following a system that was not designed for me. I'll say that. I hope I'm not taking too long to get to the punchline. But so, yes, that was my intuition letting me know that even though it was a great guy and the setting was perfect, it was just not the right time. And of course, we divorced later on in life. But that just wasn't something that I needed to do to solidify our relationship. So I had to cut my family off to save my mental health. Oh, wow. Yeah, sometimes sometimes it be like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of people think that, you having to keep that strong bond with family because it's family. Blood doesn't make you family. Blood does not make you family. Blood makes you related. Blood allows you guys to have the same DNA, but blood does not make you guys family. So yeah, so that was my take on confusing my anxiety with my intuition. So now I trust my intuition now more in love and in life decisions and in my career and in my friendships, because I know that my intuition is never going to steer me wrong. And it's always going to lead me where it needs me to go, even if there is a delay, even if I'm not where I want to be, even if it's not the right time. I know my intuition is always going to lead me in the right direction, because this, bestie, because we're on this spiritual path, we don't follow the worldly compass. Just with you going back to school. I mean, people would say, oh, you can't go back to school. You got this, that, and the third to do. What are you doing going back to school? You're not following anyone's compass. You're following Magoon's compass. Yep. You're on your spiritual journey, so it doesn't matter all these external factors that people are trying to put in front of you to scare you off. You know what I'm saying? You're doing your soul's purpose. And I've always admired that about you. You never let anyone influence you or change your view. So yeah, it's just about just going within And when you go within, you never go without. Do a backflip.
There will be no acrobatics on this show. Thanks.
What do you mean do a backflip? Yo, these comments are taking me
right,
out.
right. No, we thank you for that.
So my next question to you, Bestie, is: do you believe that intuition is your soul's voice, or do you think that it's your ancestors talking? Because that would make for another great podcast topic. How do you know that it's your higher self speaking versus it being one of your ancestors saying, baby, don't do that. Baby, go this way.
Right.
Baby, do this. How do you know?
So that it's like twofold, because your intuition tells you who it is.
Okay.
Because like, especially for me, like I had my paternal grandmother when she was on this side of life, as I like to say. I wasn't raised around her, but I knew who she was, and I've always loved both of my grandmothers with all of my heart. I was just raised with my maternal grandmother, so of course there was a closer linkage. But for me, now that my ears are open, right, my ear gates are open, I hear her clearly. And she'll say things to me. She'll get on me like, you don't need to do that, and you better not do this. And I'm like, Grandma, like, don't be using your other voice with me, because girl, I'm not used to this one. But we love each other, right? And I know it's her because of the it's almost like, so you know how with the radio station, the radio works in waves and it picks up different channels. It's like I can tell which channel that is by the frequency that's coming in. That's the best way for me to explain it. And that's my intuition deciphering out, okay, now this is God speaking. This is your higher self speaking. This is your grandmother speaking. And sometimes they'll come in and I'll be like, who was just talking to me? And then they'll make themselves known. For those who don't know, I do have mediumship gifts. So I have to clarify, because I'm like, wait, who was that? Because sometimes I'll have a cousin that will say something and I'm like, child, I forgot you was on that side of life. Like, I'm need for you. Look, baby, y'all, in my book, you all still here with me. So I need y'all to clarify. And then you have things like, so 9/11 was my nephew who's passed away birthday. And I think I may have shared this or not, but if I didn't, I'll share it now. So sometimes it's not necessarily a voice, it's something that happens. And my intuition is like, okay, this is this person because this is coming up. So his birthday is 9/11. On 9/10, his picture mysteriously was on the floor. So I picked it up and I said, I remember when your birthday is. Like, you don't have to remind me. So it's like, you have to understand, your intuition makes you more aware. I think that's what I was trying to say. Your intuition makes you more aware of your surroundings, and you realize that nothing is just a coincidence. It happens specifically for that reason. Just like when you was talking earlier, I forgot the young lady's name with the dime. I was hearing, vivacious. So even with the dime, it's just like your intuition picks up, this is my father, because it's always something circulating around the death. So when my father passed away, I saw a lot of ivies everywhere, and I said, this cannot be a coincidence. Even to the point where when the city that he was being buried in, I went to my cousin's church and I had to get something out of his van. And on the way to the van, it was like my spirit said, look to your right. And I looked to the right, and on just the other side of the fence was a group of ivies. And I was like, why am I seeing ivies everywhere I go? And so I looked up what ivies meant, and ivies are meant they're strong. There's strength in numbers. Ivies can thrive under pressure. And I said, oh wow, because I'm like, this is me at this time. I'm going through all of this pressure, and I lose my father. And it's and I keep, and the only words that I kept hearing from spirit was keep going. And I'm like, I feel like I need to just sit down. And with me not understanding who was talking to me, I would have been like, I don't know why I got to keep going. Like, no, like so your intuition clarifies the message that you're getting.
Oh, we have a comment. Oh, just Sagittarius too. Yeah. I'm sorry. Your loved one passed. My heart goes out to you. I'm sending you virtual hugs and hearts. Yeah. And that's tough. When you lose someone who you feel like is your forever person, just like Bessie explained when he divorced his partner, it does feel like, is there something else out there for me? Because I feel like this person was my forever person. So who's going to replace that? Who can even match that energy, especially if the person that you lost or you're losing is someone who you feel like is irreplaceable. So that is tough. And that is a situation that I have been in, not losing someone, but losing someone in life, but losing someone in spirit, but I lost them in life, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. They didn't transcend, but they were out of my life. And so that is tough because it makes you think, why is this happening? And what am I supposed to learn from this? And I posted something.
What is the lesson?
What is the lesson? I posted something today with in regards to, certain things happen that are preparing us for something greater. Mm-hmm. And you don't understand why it's happening. You don't even make the connection. You don't get why it's happening and what you're supposed to learn from it. But it's all happening strategically in order to bring in something that's supposed to happen to you or happen for you. And I don't know if that makes it better, or if it just completes a cycle, but everything happens for a reason. And I'll never understand why certain things happen. I've always questioned the divine. I've always asked why certain things had to happen so that other things had to come into fruition. But one thing I have learned is that certain things have to happen in order for us to evolve just as a soul, as a spirit, as a human spirit having a human experience. Certain things have to happen to evolve our soul. And unfortunately, those things have to be death.
Yeah. One thing that I'm picking, that I'm getting right now is literally a download. And I actually forgot the spirit and I had a similar conversation. And when somebody has completed their mission, spirit always asks, what do you want to have completed before you leave? And so some people actually complete things. This is why I say it's so important for relationships to establish, and that you try to love everybody, not hate. Like, no, don't get it wrong. I do have my rowdy moments because I'm just like, hey, now you don't touch my loved one now. Like this one right here, this bestie right here, my best friends, my girls, and I have a lot of, younger sisters, I'm very protective over them, and I'd be ready. Hold up, let's go. What's up? To put him on the phone with me. Let me meet this person. I've always been that way, but that's because it comes from a place of love. And so some people say that they want to experience love and relationship before they leave. Um, and I always think about my nephew because I'm still honestly, I'm still trying to grasp that, because one of the things that we always talked about is his life. My nephew suffered a bit, and I always try to encourage him to get out of that funk. And I always felt like he passed away not experiencing that thing, that itch that he wanted, right? And the circumstances around his death is a whole story within itself. So I'm just going to say that. But I always felt like, and then there are some times when people's life are cut premature because of outside factors, because of personal attacks from the enemy. But also, when that happens, the enemy is also trying to attack the person that they are attached. So they say, if I can't get to you, I'll get to your loved one, and stunt your growth. So that's why it's important in your physical realm to find that stability. You do have to seek out therapy, because therapists help us work through it in the physical. And while we're doing that, the spiritual starts to align. It starts to realign with that physical, so that we can heal the way we're supposed to, outside, inside, outside, right? Because when we're totally healed, those things we remember, and we let go and move on, because our loved ones always want us to move onward. They always want us to continue to progress. They never want us to be stagnant. They never want us to. They in fact, some of the loved ones, whenever they do see certain some of their loved ones being stagnant, they feel guilty for leaving. But it's like, you've completed your assignment.
Yeah.
You know, um, I just heard marching orders. It's like they got their marching orders, and it's like, okay. It's like it's almost like I'm hearing. I'm not gonna say I'm directly hearing from the death angel, but it's like when the death angel comes, it's like the death angel also knows how it's going to change the course of a person, but that's because that spirit's way of navigating you on your path. Because everything that we go through, whether it's with family, past relationships, a death, it always steers us back to the path, or the path that was designed for us. The path that we as spirit, hey, when I'm on this earth, I want to make sure I do this, and the third. And spirit is like, okay, depending on our actions from the past, will determine what happens in the future.
Very much so. Very much so. And keep that in mind before we get to your question. Vivacious, I'll just use your question for the Ask Me segment. Keep that in mind. This is not our first rodeo. We are ancient beings. And so we are returning from previous lifetimes, which is why you'll always hear me say a lot of us feel very familiar. A lot of our energies feel familiar, even if we're just meeting for the first time, or if we've never met in the physical form. We're returning from previous lifetimes to finish out, clear karmic debt, or to rectify situations that weren't rectified in previous lifetimes. And so whenever something like that happens as detrimental as a death, a passing. I always say a transcendence because I don't believe that anybody truly dies. They just transcend on to the next assignment. Mm-hmm. Whenever that happens, they have lived out their contract. Nobody's time, I truly feel like, is ever cut short because I feel like we choose when we're going to transcend.
Right.
Way before we even come to earth. We choose what experiences we want to learn, what we want to endure, and what lessons we want to learn as well. So whenever we feel like in the physical form that a life is cut short, it's never cut short. We feel like we didn't get enough time with that person. That's valid. That's completely valid.
That's
but true. We choose when we are going to transcend many, many eons before we even come to earth. But I did want to get to your question, or have B get to your questions. So let's go ahead and segue into the Ask B segment and go ahead and let B answer your questions. Looks like she had two. You want to scroll up?
And no, and trust me, when I understand the question of am I cursed? Even I was just sharing this with someone at my job about feeling cursed because this young lady, she has a spiritual gift, but she gets anxious with it. She's like, no, I don't want it. But it comes out. And so it's like you can't run away from your intuition. You can't run away from your gifts because if it's meant for you, it's going to come out. So she's navigating that, and that she's in that space right now. But I told her whenever I first started to get my mediumship gift, I didn't know what it was. I just know that I could see spirits. I could hear things. I could feel things. I would dream things. I think I shared before, and I know I shared it a few weeks ago, how for me, I would pick up on death in so many different ways. I could never pinpoint when an actual death was happening. Because at first it came with a strong thought. And then I started getting as they said, the old wives' tale. I would hear owls. I would get dreams. I would have dreams. Well, actually, dreams was first, then the thoughts came, and then the owls. So death always presented itself in various ways with me. So I never knew. But all I did know is, why was I picking up on it? Why was I the one that had to know when people were dying? I didn't want to see that. I even picked up once when a couple had to split, and I never told them. And I think I have shared this, but I was like, I couldn't. That was not my place. I was like, you want me to do what? No, that's your job. Like, I can't do that. You're telling me to tell a couple who at the time was not having any problems that they need to break up. What does that look like? What does that look like? And so it's like, it's not even just the physical death. It's literally death in all forms, right? I know I shared a few weeks ago how I had, or maybe it was just this past week, how I had to leave my job. That is a death. You have to kill out a relationship for you. Yeah. And it's like, if you don't do it, spirit will have something to come up so that it will happen. And again, it's to push you and stir you in the direction that you're supposed to go. So to answer your question, when is it ever going to get better? That actually is determined by you. When do you tell yourself, okay, now it's time to start healing and start addressing the things that I refuse to see? When is it time to, instead of running away from the pain, embrace the pain and see what comes of it? If you journal, and your mind starts to go there, you may tend to like try to switch up the subject or stop writing. That's the time when you continue to write the most. That's when you let it out. And I know that because that's how I started writing. Before I was a poet and a songwriter, I just wrote out my thoughts. And it was then that I found that I had a gift of poetry that turned into songwriting. It was through those dark moments. It was through those dark times. And at first, I just didn't know how to express it right. Just like any other emotion, pain, despair, depression wants to be expressed. Anger wants to be expressed. And that's what causes so many people to, and I'm not saying this is what's going to happen to you, right? But bottling up those emotions, those strong emotions, that's what starts to play on the mind, because you tell yourself, oh, I don't want to address that, I don't want to address that. But everybody wants to express love. Everybody wants to express compassion, ecstasy, being naughty. Everybody wants to express those things because we equate those things with something good. And we equate the others as something bad. No, those things actually show how strong you are. Because when you can look back at something that you wrote and say, my God, I went through all of that and I'm still here. I had all these gloomy days and nights and I'm still here. That is something to celebrate. And your loved ones from the other side said, that's why I fell in love with that person. That's why that person was my best friend. That's why I'll call that person my brother, my sister. That's why we were always, no matter how long we never talked, when we did talk, we would connect as if nothing happened right there because of what I see in that person. That strength, that creativity, that love, that genuineness. That's why we always connected. And then that's why whenever we start to feel, we start to feel differently and not act like ourselves, that's when those on the other side come back and leave us messages to remind us who we are. Baby girl, don't be crying over me. Baby girl, let me send this child some butterflies to let them know I'm still here.
Yeah.
Let me make sure. Who is that? There was one young lady a few weeks ago. I think I told you about the Magic Fest. One young lady said that she found dimes in oh no, it wasn't a young lady, but it was a guy that was teaching the class. He said he found dimes in all four corners of his house when his best friend died.
What?
He said he found them in the corners of his house. And he said that let me know that my friend was still here with me. Yeah. So it's like they leave us messages as reminders to remind us how great we were when they were alive. And that's their way of honoring us. You know how we always paying homage to those that pass away by holding memorial services or having altars and things. When they send us those things, that's their offerings to us saying, thank you. Because I know you're going to remember the times that we had, the times that we shared. And that should actually empower us to go like, baby, let me, I know I'm not going to have that same relationship with somebody else, but let me go off and show people how great I am.
Wow.
Yep. Exactly. And that's why I said, and they all come in different forms. It's never, it's Right. They're going to always send something that meant something to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes it's when we go on in life and we have this strong thought about somebody. Like there'll be days and I'm just minding my business. And then one of my friends that's passed away, I'll just all of a sudden it's like this strong thought. And I'm like, okay, girl, I hear you. I see you. Thank you. I must still hold this promise. Thank you. Yep.
That's beautiful. I love that. I just want to say something really quick. It's a little off topic, but I remember you mentioned that you're a Sagittarius. Oh, wait, we'll get to this question first, then I'll chime in.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
In fact, he used to do that when he was on this side of life. He used to do that on this side of life.
That is so beautiful.
Yep.
I was gonna say that you mentioned earlier just by being a Sagittarius, because it's in our innate nature, and I think practically in our DNA, to be in fight or flight mode when it comes to a relationship. And so I just wanted to just offer you a piece of advice just that I've learned on my healing journey when it comes to dating. That it's okay to surrender, and it's okay to not be in fight or flight mode. And I don't mean fight as in confrontational. I mean fight or flight, like I'm gonna just like be flight so that we don't have a confrontation, if that makes sense. Because it's not always about fighting and then leaving. It's about, you know what, I don't even want to try to even cultivate a relationship, so I'm just gonna, out of here. Which is why we always get that label of being non-committal, but that's so not true. Like, we are committed to the right ones, and if people are not the right ones, then we're out. So I just want to offer that little bit of advice to you, just being a Sagittarius myself, that it's okay to surrender. Because I've had the hardest time with doing that, because I'm such a dominant female. Sagittarius is a masculine planet. Jupiter is our ruling planet, and that is the largest planet in the solar system. So our personality is going to be big. Our energy is going to be big. Anything we do is big. But what I have learned on the lesson, on the healing journey, is that surrendering is just as comforting as leading. It has to be balanced with anything, as above, so below. So it has to be duality. I always tell men, just look at me as your homegirl. I am not available. I am very closed off. And you know what, girl? Sometimes we give homegirl, and sometimes people don't understand that we just want to kind of rock out with them. It's hard because people get so fixated and so intoxicated with our energy. Remember, we are ruled by the largest planet in the solar system. So sometimes people don't even know why they're so engulfed with our energy. And we're not even trying to come off heavy, hard, and hot. That's just who we are. We embody that energy. And so, yeah, like, I'm always giving homegirl energy, despite people wanting to be more. But I always give homegirl energy. And I have to specify that more than once to a lot of people, because, they want more than just a girl to hang out with. They want a wife. Okay.
So I was pulled to pull cards for you, and it's beautiful. So first of all, the first card that comes out is the Fool, which means you have to trust spirit. That you have to trust spirit in a way that is uncomfortable for you. Um, because the Fool card is all about a new beginning. And in order to make that new beginning, you have to make a decision to move forward. You have to decide to move forward with the Two of Wands. And when you make that decision, you're gonna feel whole again because you have the Empress energy. I want to say that this card came out the last time, the last reading we did. I want to say you also got the Empress card, and so it's like once the Empress is whole, she's gonna realize that the Tower moment that she thought was a Tower moment isn't so bad. Um, because what I'm getting is that if you were to move on, you feel like you were betraying him. And I want hold on, let me make sure I get his name. Yeah, Thomas. You feel like that if you were to move on, that you're betraying him. And I started laughing because when that as soon as that thought came in, I heard him say, "Nope," because I'm gonna help her pick out the next person. It's not like it's almost like he's in competition, like he will be in competition with the person from the other side. Like, can you give her what I gave her? Can you love her the way that I love her? It's like he's taking notes. You know how they always say, "Oh, you were stupid." Oh my God. He's hilarious. He is hilarious. So what he just said to me was, he said, "You can share this with everybody." He said, "You know how they say you should have a gay best friend? Tell her she has a ghost best friend."
Oh my God. She said that is so him. Oh my goodness.
Like, that's why I said, what? He threw me off with that one. He was like, "Yeah, you know how they say you should have a gay best friend? You tell her she has a ghost best friend, you know." See? And
that is crazy.
And right after the Tower moment came, and after he was saying that those things, you got the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is that lucky card. It's that like it's gonna be lucky for you. Um, and then next two cards came out to clarify because it literally said these are the clarity cards. Three of Pentacles. Now, why would you need Three of Pentacles when you're moving forward with your life in a relationship? This is solidifying the fact that he is with you, picking out this next person. So whereas there's two of you, he's always there. He will always be there. He's looking for you. It's almost like once he transitioned, he was allowed to become your guardian angel in a sense. So it's like I'm always gonna be here. I'm always here. Um, yeah, like, and then he wanted me to go ahead and show you the last card because you go from Three of Pentacles to the Ten of Pentacles.
Ooh, baby.
That's family. That's all your hopes and dreams and wishes. Your best friends always make sure that everything in life that you want, that you get. If they have to do it for you, like if they have to be the first person to buy that your book, they will, right? If they're the ones to say, "Hey, my best friend just, you know, created an album. We selling the CDs in my trunk. hey, what you got? You got 5 on it, you got 10 on it, you coming to the concert later on tonight. That's how our best friends are. They want to make sure that we get that goal. And it's he's in the energy of, although I was not able to fulfill that for you, I'm still going to make sure that you have that in your life. But you have to be open to that. You have to be open for that experience. Because like our loved ones know it's a tragic event when they leave, depending on how they leave, right? They know that it's a tragic experience. For them, it's a release. It's like I'm no longer trapped in whatever I was going through or trapped by anything, right? But for us, we just like, oh my gosh, you're not here no more. But they're like, we're very much still here. Like my cousin, one of my cousins that passed away was a chef. And now he didn't give me the recipe for the night, but he has given me recipes before. And I'm like, what do I need? Hey, if you do this, it's gonna come out right. So we have to listen and be, I don't want to say be mindful. We have to listen and watch the different forms of Lord, not intervention. Why are we talking about interventions? Okay. Intuitions that happen. So the intervention comes in because that's what our intuition does. They intervene for us. Like that intermission, like, hey, take a pause, take a beat, pay attention to what's happening in your life. If you want true guidance, this is where it's at. It's not through anxiety. Because right now, when we continue to hold on and we don't refuse, it's that's anxiety. It's the other side of anxiety, right? It's the silent anxiety that we really don't talk about. That's where depression settles in, you know.
I told you he was good, girl. What I tell you?
Listen, sometimes I rewind. I'm like, y'all said that. Like, where did this come from?
I told you he is good. Did that answer your question, my love? And you are free to comment, anything else. Just so we're sure that you were spiritually fed tonight. So please let us know if that answered your question. And I told you he was good, honey. He never misses. He never misses. We should do a segment with all the Ask Bees and just show, like, you answering. Oh my God. Do you know how viral that would go?
Listen.
I'm so serious. When I get the chance to sit down, I'm going to do a segment of all of the Ask Bee and the responses.
Yeah.
Oh,
you are very welcome.
We love to hear that. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Yeah. Received and reciprocated.
And I'm also hearing right now to light a candle for the different ones that come to mind. That, like your father, him, whoever else come up. I'm hearing to light a candle and let it each be a different color. And watch the flickers of each candle when you light them, after you light them. Now, for your last for your, well, I'm not gonna say your last question, right? But for this question, yes, we all will be reunited, right? because there are times when I have conversations and I have certain family members that say, "Oh, well, wait till you come up here because we got some things we need to discuss." And I'm like, "Not we having a family meeting." Like, yeah. And the 18th was recent. That was real recent. But yeah. Yep, I also understand that because here's the thing. So my remember I said my nephew was born on 9/11. He died in October. My aunt, I had a cousin to get married on 9/11 a few years later after my nephew passed away. On the day of their wedding, my aunt passed away.
Oh my God.
My mom just told me a few days ago that my grandmother passed on one of my uncle's birthdays. And I said, I never knew that. She said, yeah, but he passed away when he was 16. So it's like those cycles that there's certain numbers that we have to pay attention to. We have to pay attention to the numbers. Yep.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Yep. So and then not even a year later, the cousin that got married, his spouse passed away. So it's like it's all these intricacies. Yeah. But definitely right, light the candles for sure.
She said the candles resonated because she always lit candles, she says.
So it's weird. I don't know if you did this setup or not, but what I'm seeing, this is I'm literally seeing a white candle in the middle. And then there's like colorful candles around that one representing the different ones that pass away. Like I'm seeing that plain as day, and maybe somebody else needs to hear that as well. I'm picking up, but it's like one maybe a few more, but definitely one more person that needed to hear that to light a white candle and put the colored candles around it to represent their loved ones.
And like you said earlier, B, I don't know if you mentioned this in tonight's episode or a previous one, the candles are always going to represent a different energy with the colors. The white, purity, our ancestors, green, money, yellow, orange, clarity, creativity, black, protection, red, pink, love, self-love, romantic love. So just be conscientious about choosing, you know, the candle that represents the energy that you want to embody. You're welcome, my love.
Check. Your people are coming through tonight. This has to be your father. Because he said, definitely give me the green one since I'm always leaving the times. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. This never happened. So when y'all see me laugh like this for the audience, because it's like they come in like so forceful, and it's like what? Where did that come from? It's like,
she said repeat.
Yeah. It's like, well, I hope he was like, well, she better give me the green one since I'm the one that leaves the dimes. And it's like, what? That's why I was like, what? Like, where did it come from? Like, he's been quiet this whole entire time. So we know that green is for daddy. Okay, like nobody else can have that color. That's dad's color. Okay.
So make sure you get you a green candle, honey. Okay.
Okay. Like it was like what?
Tonight. Make sure to get that green candle. Because I didn't realize that Oh wow! See?
Right. I was just because it came. That's why I said it came out of nowhere. That's why I was like, what? Like what?
You got the Midas touch, girl. I'm trying to tell you, he is directly connected to spirit, to the ethereal realms. I'm so glad you were able to join us tonight.
Yes.
I'm so glad you were able to join us. And please make sure you join us every Tuesday night, my love. Every Tuesday night. Because we love your energy. And we appreciate you being on with us the whole duration of the show. You are a real one, so you got to come back next week.
Mm-hmm. Listen.
You got to come back next week. But yeah, I didn't realize that until later on in my spiritual journey, because I was just buying any color candle. I was like, oh, well, red is nice because, red is, Delta, my mom. Yellow is good because they're, the sun. I'm like, okay, now I have to be more intentional. What am I trying to bring into my life? What am I trying to manifest? And that's when I became intentional about what colors I was going to buy. I'm so grateful. Blessings to you both and everyone in the room. Blessings to you as well.
Yes.
Ashe, ashe. Received and reciprocated, my love. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate love and value. We hope that, you were spiritually fed tonight, because this is what we are here to do, to spiritually feed you and to give you the tools that you need to heal yourself. So we hope that we fulfilled our mission with you tonight. And we just hope that you come back and join us again next week. And just so you know, this segment is what we offer on every show, at the end of every show, a chance for you to ask B. But if you're ever in need of a one-on-one session with B, he does offer that as well. Please make sure that you are following him so that you know how to get in contact with him. I'll tag him in the video. Not sure if you're following me, but if you're not, you can follow the both of us, and he will be tagged in this video as well as in the story that I'll post when I post this video after this segment ends, and you'll be able to get in contact with him directly with the link in his bio. Yes.
Yeah,
put in your reminder and hit that notification bell, because sometimes a lot of people are not notified. I've had several people tell me that they know that we're on every Tuesday night, but that notification bell does not go off. And I don't know what is going on with the algorithm, but they are pushing self-help videos down the scrotum hole. They don't want us to help heal ourselves. So just make sure you hit that notification bell. But if you're not reminded, just know that we do this every Tuesday, girl. Same time, same place.
Okay.
And same time, same place, Eastern Standard Time, just so you know. Because the time zones are different that myself and B are in. So Eastern Standard Time. And your time zone is different as well, because you're in California, if I remember you mentioned correctly. So yeah, just make sure that it's Eastern Standard Time. So thank you. And if no one else has any more questions for tonight, this will conclude tonight's episode. Yes, so 8 p.m. your time. Yes.
Okay, that's good to know. That is good to know. So when someone asks, we can say it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we'll say 8 p.m. your time. Because you are on the Central Time zone, right? Correct. Cali is Central, right?
No, that's me. I'm Central.
You're Central. So, Cali is what? Because I'm Eastern Standard. Bessie is Central, so Cali is.
Okay, yeah.
Pacific. There you go.
Yeah, because I was like.
It's Bessie Central. I'm Eastern. Cali's Pacific. Okay.
Yeah, and because there's for clarity for those who watch later, I know that I think it's Arizona that has a different, even from that. I think Arizona has it's like a version of Central or something. It's very weird, and I'm like, what? Like, how do you just pick your own time zone? Okay, I'm not. I'm
Arizona.
Yeah, I think it's either Arizona. or New Mexico, one of the two. It's like they have their own time zone even from that. So I'm like, what? Like,
that's too much to keep up with. Listen, girl, whenever that bell goes off, you know it'll be on. Okay? Because I don't know, it's too many different time zones. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, whenever that bell goes off, it means that we on. And you'll see it. You'll see, I believe when I go live, it's like a pink
ring.
Like a pink ring around my icon. So you'll notice that as well. If you're frequently on Instagram. I'm not. I schedule my posts to be released at certain times, so I'm not as on as much as I would like to, which is why people be like, hey, you just posted. Why aren't you responding? I set all of my posts to be released at certain times. I schedule them, so I'm not online 24/7. So even when I'm on, I'm not physically on. It's already scheduled to be released. So anyway, so yes, this will conclude tonight's episode of Cards and Conversations. We hope that you guys have been spiritually fed. We hope that we have done our due diligence for everyone that was on. We appreciate, love, and value you guys. As I said, I will say it again. We do this every Tuesday. Same time, same place, 11:11 Eastern Standard Time. Look, check the gear out. Check out the gear. You know what? I'm going to get mine. I'm going to get mine next week.
11.
Because it is hoodie season.
Okay, 11:11.
And I love it. And I'm going to get black too, because you know black is a staple piece.
Okay.
Scorpio rising, we love black. So I'm definitely going to get black. So you will see us both on here rocking our Cards and Conversations gear next week. And please remember, guys, the cards do not dictate your fate. They simply illuminate your choices. So choose wisely, love deeply, and stay aligned. And we will see you next week, same time, same place. Cards and Conversations, where every episode unfolds a deck of intriguing discussions. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Bye, Bestie.
Bye. And yes, please, if you're watching on YouTube, please go to my Instagram page. I will see if I could try to get the link here. In fact, let me see if I can do that now, actually. Because I do want you all to be able to purchase the gear and see what other things that I have in my store. And for those of you who do make a purchase or are able to make a purchase, half the proceeds go to me, the other half goes to Bestie. So we're splitting this 50-50. So just wanted to let you all know that. So whenever you purchase, you're pouring blessings to two different people, to two businesses, and yes, you will get blessed for both. So definitely please come check out the link. I'm actually pulling it up from the web now. Ooh. So it is in the comment section. So please check us out. Please, please, please check us out. And you have a good night.